So this guy tries to scam me, and when I busted him, he said he was going to tell on me. You get that? He literally said, tell on me. But you wouldn't believe who he said he was going to tell. Buckle up, it only gets dumber as we go. How y'all doing? Welcome to the Fool Files here on Nana Punkydoo. My name is Lisa, or Nana, and let's jump right into this fool that I call Dr. Catfish. You know, when you say hello to somebody online on social media, you don't expect it to turn into a big thing with armies and governments and uh, different countries, different social media sites, and all kinds of this stuff coming at you. But that is exactly what happened with this, and it became crazy. It became crazy, y'all, and I don't. I should have. I don't know how I got myself into this situation, but it became really kind of weird. But I was online. I had been online doing um, some affiliate marketing, and it, this before this all came about, I was doing it like on Google Ads and whatnot. I was buying ads and doing the affiliate marketing that way, and that wasn't working out all that great. I mean, the market hasn't been fantastic for years. So I decided to try doing it through social media because it's free that way. You can do it, putting the ads on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, and, and it's free. Now, where my lack of knowledge comes in is in all of these places because I know nothing about TikTok or Instagram. That's for the young kids. This is where I should have taken a lesson from my Punkydoo, probably my granddaughter. I should have said, "Hey, come here," but I didn't. I didn't do that, but I should have, because I got on there and I knew nothing about any of these sites, nothing. Oh my lord! And I'm on these sites and I'm figuring it out as I go, and it was not an easy thing to do at all. And if you're my age, 60-ish, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're just trying to figure this stuff out, and I get, on Facebook, which came out a while ago, you get people that friend request you, but with these other sites, it doesn't work that way. They just they follow you, and then it doesn't matter if you say yes or say no. Well, it does. You can block them. I didn't know this at the time. I wasn't aware, and so people follow you, and then you get a little thing that pops up and it says follow back. And I didn't honestly have any clue what all this meant, really. I just saw this box that says follow back, so I would click it. It's like, okay, follow back. Well, I don't even know what it means. Okay, I'll follow back. Let's follow back. So I'm clicking it and I'm getting all these follow backs. Okay, I have no idea why or whatever. I don't know what it's for. But either way, I figured the more the merrier because I was trying to sell stuff. So it was working out well, I thought. So I'm just going along doing my thing. And all of a sudden, I get this text. It says, Hello, beautiful. Okay. Um, that's odd. Like I said, I don't consider myself naive, and so I know that I'm not beautiful. So that was kind of a ding dong. What? And so I said hello. I started talking to the guy, and his name was Edwin Eric. Edwin Eric. And we were just talking, nothing major. And he wasn't, I mean, it was nothing major. It was just kind of like a hi, how are you type of thing for, you know, a couple of days. Wasn't anything major. And it was just like normal conversation. I mean, I wasn't looking to meet anybody online. That wasn't my um it just wasn't something I was looking to do at all. But I couldn't see the harm in talking to anybody either. So then he says to me, he says, "Well, do you have WhatsApp?" I said, "I don't even know what WhatsApp is. What is it?" And he told me what it was. The other, and I said, "Well," he said, "it's just a place that's better than TikTok to go to have, more of a private conversation." And I said, "Okay, whatever." And so I got TikTok. I mean, WhatsApp. And so we went to WhatsApp and we started talking on WhatsApp. And it started out being only, a couple of times a day, normal talk of the day kind of conversations. What did you do today? What are you doing tomorrow kind of thing. And it was like talking maybe twice a day. And that's how it all got started. And it it just kind of evolved, you know, as conversations normally do when you're talking to people. It evolved into, where you're from, what do you do for a living, that kind of thing. And come to find out, he said he's a doctor. Really, a doctor. A doctor. You're a doctor, and you're on TikTok. Get a woman, okay? Um, from Turkey, a doctor from Turkey. Okay? A doctor from Turkey. He's a doctor from Turkey who had decided he was an orthopedic surgeon, and he had decided he wanted to do some volunteer work, basically. So he and he wanted to live in the United States. So he came to the United States and he went to work for the United Nations, the UN, and he had gone to gone to Syria um, for the UN to war torn Syria. He was at an army base in Syria, um, helping over there, and I'm going, what? So you're a doctor from Turkey that came to the U.S. to volunteer to work with the UN that went to Syria, right? Okay, I don't know how many countries that is. So now you're in Syria on an army base, and in the back of my mind, I'm going, that is messed up. Something's not right here. But at this point, I was hooked, and I gotta find out what's going on with this dude. I'm like, I know this isn't right, but I gotta find out what he wants. So I'm thinking I know there's something screwy here, but I don't know exactly what it is. I'm thinking, to begin with, why is a doctor online looking for a woman? And doing it this way. He had said something about his wife had died like 5 years before that in a car accident, and I don't know, but it's like who am I to judge what people do? He was very very convincing, but scammers are very convincing. This is what they do for a living. A lot of them. We'll get into that one later. But this, I just knew that this was not right. The back of my head is saying, "This isn't right, Lisa. Lisa, something's not right with this. Bells are going off. Ding, 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 ding." So he sent me a few pictures of himself. And I mean, this guy was a good looking dude, he's a good looking doctor. And that which made it even more suspicious because I'm like, this guy has no need to be online looking for women. None whatsoever. So that just made it all the worse for him. I mean, just making me more suspicious about everything. Oh, I'm talking to him or texting. We're texting this whole time, and he had said that he had one daughter. He had a daughter, and she was actually in school in France. So there's another country I heard from, and so the name Edwin Eric, I don't know why it didn't sink in at the time, but does that sound like a Turkish name to you, Edwin Eric? I don't know why bells didn't go off when right away in the beginning. It's like I don't know a lot of people in Turkey, any actually. Well, one now, but that's for later. Um, I don't know any that are named Edwin Eric. I'll tell you that. But that didn't set off bells and either, and it should. I guess my 61-year-old self is getting pretty naive. So I said, "Well, can you call me?" So he called, and very strong accent, very, very strong accent. I could hardly understand a word he said, and I'm thinking, what? And the number had come up blocked. And I'm thinking, well, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's calling from another country. If he's calling from Syria, it would come up blocked. I guess that would make sense. Why would it say Syria on the caller ID? And I could hardly understand him, and I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense too. I have no idea what the Syrian or the Turkish accent is, and so that kind of flew over. You got no idea. I don't. talk to me about Spanish or French. Okay, yeah, fine. I can tell you the accent, but Turkey, no, I don't know that one. Don't know that one at all. I got no clue. So he called me a couple of times, and we talked on the phone a couple of times. Okay, fine. Then, after this had gone on for a little bit, he was saying how much he loved me and how much he wanted. We were going to get married and we were going to buy a house in Alabama. And I'm like, excuse me? Whoa, time out. Put on the brakes right now. Stop the train. Number one, I've known you about like a minute, and so stop. Um, Number two, who said I wanted to get married? Who said I wanted to leave Florida? I have a house, I have a state. And what is this about Alabama? What's the deal with Alabama? Oh, well, I just love Alabama. Why do you love Alabama? What's the deal with Alabama? How do you even know about Alabama? Oh, well, that's where I had to go to when I applied for the UN. You applied when you came to the US. You went to Alabama to apply to work for the UN. Yeah, let me think about that second. Did they give you like a an application to fill out or something? You know, like a convenience store. Did you have to fill out an application and give back to them? Well, yeah, I filled out papers. Really? Yeah. Dude, I only live in this country. I was only born here and raised here. But the last I knew, that's not how it worked. I think you probably have to go to DC for that. Honey, Alabama. So, this is just getting really bizarre as we go. I just, I, I didn't quite know what to say anymore. I was just getting too suspicious of everything that was going on. And I said, "Can you FaceTime me?" And he said, no. That's when he started to put the brakes on. He's like, we have it's too much for security. They won't let us FaceTime anybody. Why? You're the good guy. Uh, what? He says, No, they got cameras up all over the place, and they don't want anybody to make FaceTime calls because they don't want anybody to see where we are. Like again, right? You're the good guy. You're at an army base in Syria. I don't think it's hidden. Who are you hiding from? I said something's wrong. I said, I'm going to need this FaceTime call to prove that you're who you are, who you say you are, or I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I said, I'm done because there are just too many bells going off in my head, and I don't like bells. I said, so unless you can make a FaceTime call, don't talk to me anymore. So that was the end of it. That was the end of it. And that I waited for like 3 days, 3 days, and he texted me. And he said, okay, I'm ready. I said, you ready for what? He says, I'm ready for the FaceTime call. You had to get ready? It took you 3 days to get ready? Hey. Well, okay then. So then I said, okay, well, give me a call. And unlike the other phone calls, when my phone rang, the caller ID said Ghana. Excuse me? Hey, I'm staring at the phone and I'm going, Ghana? So now we have Turkey, the US, working for the UN, the Syria, Ghana. What the hell is going on? Oh, and France, the daughter in France. This is a lot of countries. And I got the phone ringing in my hand. Anyway, that's I'm gonna end that here. This has been a very long first episode. So I will catch up with you next time around, guys. Honest. Take care. Hey guys, how's it going? I just want to thank you for watching and tell you how much I appreciate it, and I will definitely see you on the next episode. I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Uh, if you'd like to do a live at any given time, just leave me a message and let me know if I have enough interest. I will be happy to do one. And or just leave me a message and or a comment and we can talk about whatever you like. I'd love to hear about where you're from or, whatever y'all have to say. So take care, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fool Files.